where are we at with the issue of China? Because you had a fascinating piece in the Oz today with this mathematical analysis about military conflict. What can you tell us?
Well, reported some good quantitative analysis that Christopher Joy has done, saying that there's a 46% chance of conflict between China and the United States in the next 10 years. Now, generally, I don't put much store in quantitative analysis, to be honest with you. Christopher Joy is a terrifically good bloke, but it's interesting. He's done a kind of reverse analysis of all the factors that led to war in the last 160 years, put it in a big quantitative model and come out. But I don't think we need that modelling in a way to tell us that there is a real chance of conflict in the next 5 to 10 years. So the quantitative analysis confirms common sense. Now, what really profoundly disturbs me, Peter, is that Scott Morrison and Peter Dutton tell us quite truthfully that this is the most dangerous strategic environment since the 1930s. But after 8 years of Conservative government, we have produced not one new defence platform. And the frigates have been delayed until the mid-2030s, and the submarines have been abolished. Love or hate the French subs, they were real. Now, my problem with the nuclear subs, I'm all in favour of nuclear subs, I'm 1,000,000% in favour of them, but we are not going to get them for tens and tens of years on the best possible analysis. So that means for the next 5 or 10 years, we've got absolutely nothing that we didn't already have. And the only thing we've said we're going to acquire is a few more missiles, but the government hasn't told us how many we're going to get or when we're going to get them. I think we're getting something like 200 long-range anti-ship missiles. Well, 200 missiles, if you have a conflict, that'll keep you going from Monday morning to Monday afternoon. So I think all we are doing is we are relying on the Americans as though we were a client state. We are the functional equivalent of the Afghan government. We just don't believe we can ever be in a circumstance where the Americans won't take care of everything for us. And I think that's a very irresponsible and dangerous place for us to be.
And just before we go too, I mean, the timeframes are squeezed. This isn't just, China getting expansionist. This is President Xi. He's put it in his time frame and his leadership's period. We know that he's basically the emperor forever, but he won't live forever. So this is on the horizon, this sort of worry we have, this concern, and it's real. That's the other issue too, isn't it?
Absolutely, Peter. So President Xi has said he wants to take back Taiwan in his presidential term. Now, we can dissuade him from that if we have a sufficiently robust deterrence. But there are a lot of things that make him think the next 3 to 5 years are the time for him to move. I mean, America is now building nuclear subs of its own at quite a fast rate, and the Chinese are nowhere near as good as the American nuclear subs. So that situation is going to get worse for China over the years. The Americans have now realised they have to move into missiles and drones in the Pacific to be able to impose costs on the Chinese if they mount an operation against Taiwan. The Taiwanese themselves are investing in asymmetric defence, and we have told the Chinese that we're going to have nothing for at least the next 10 years, nothing new at all. So that all creates, instead of deterring President Xi, that sort of is an argument for him to act in the next 3 to 5 years. That's not guaranteed he would act. I would say the balance of probabilities are that he possibly won't act. But the danger of China taking gross military action against Taiwan in the next 3 to 5 years is very strong, and we have done absolutely nothing to prepare ourselves to cope with it.
But we're making climate commitments 30, 40, 50 years out. Goodness me, Greg Sheridan, I tell you what. Couldn't get it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Peter.